friends, it's Pam with Silver and Sparkles, and I am so excited about this paper bag project I have for you guys today. So these are lunch bags, but they're this kind. They're the little ones that are completely flat, and someone had asked for some flat paper bag projects, and I have these too, so I am going to show you how to make some what I think are just gorgeous junk journaling pockets to go in your journal. Now, of course, you can make these Christmas themed like I've done. You can use your scraps. You can make them just whatever theme your journal is, just basic and vintagey. I think they turn out so cute. So this one was made with one bag, just one of these little bags. And I made it, let me pull out one of my journals. I made it to be installed on a page with the horizontal orientation, and if we glue it down and leave the side open, or you could even leave the top open, you'll get another pocket. But right now we have 1, 2, 3 fun pockets with just one bag. I think, when I put this one down, I would like to install it so then we have a pocket this way. That would be really fun, I think. And then you'd have 4 pockets. Okay, so that's one. It's super easy. And then this one I love as well. And I made it, and there are so many pockets on this one, with 2 bags. So we have 1 pocket, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then if we leave it open on the side or at the top, we'd have 8. So I just think it's so pretty. Now, all you need to keep in mind is how big your journal is, if where you're going to want to use these. I mean, you could also send this as a happy mail. It's nice and flat, but keep in mind the size journal that you want it to fit on, and that'll help you decide, because you could use more bags to make more pockets. You could make this one wider. So there's lots of different configurations, but I'm going to show you the construction of these. Now, the papers I layered my bags with are from CherithArt on Etsy, and I've used this paper collection in a recent video, but the project looks completely different because of the papers I picked out to use. So these background papers are from her Minimalist Christmas kit, and there's just so many beautiful ones. We'll use some different ones again today, but I'll just kind of show you. Look at those fun candy canes, lots of trees. And then inside some of the pockets, I made some little tags or cards of a different size from her kit. It's called 50 Printable Christmas Cards, I think, and it's got cute, fun animals. And so these were, let me show you, when you print them out, if you print them out regular size, right, you get 2 cards that are kind of a standard, greeting card size that fits in a, an envelope like this. So great, I love that. But I did this one where it's still open, more like of a journaling card. And there's her branding. You can see the name CherithArt Design. So CherithArt's on Etsy. And I just cut them into some different sizes to fit into my pockets the way I wanted them to. And I left this where you could still write a little message in there. So again, you've got pockets where the bag opens, and then pockets how I've glued them together. So those are the 2 kits I used. Use whatever papers you want, whatever papers you have. If you're interested in these papers, I will link them for you in the description. Now, the only other thing I used was a little bit of ribbon, and then I did use some sentiments, and these are from a freebie by RachandBella, by Rachel, and I will link that for you below. She has a Ko-fi shop with all kinds of freebies and paper packs and all kinds of fun things, so I'll make sure I link that for you if you need some Christmas words. So that's what I used. let's get started. So let me tell you the measurements of my bags, and these are available on Amazon, and they're in my Amazon storefront. If you want to go take a look, that's linked for you in the description as well. So this is 5 inches by 7.5, and then I think I had this one upside down. You can see there's also this little cut out the lip, and they're nice and thin, and they have a really nice feel to them. They're not super slick. They're not like waxy or anything. So again, the ones I have are 7.5 by 5, and I'll have the link to my Amazon storefront. And if I remember, I'll put the link directly to the bags in case you want to go directly there. But okay, the first thing I'm gonna do is let's make this big one. And it takes 2 of the little bags. So all I did was cut them at 4 inches. So I'm going to be left. So this is the closed end. And I want to cut it 4 inches from the bottom of the bags. So I now have two that are like this. Okay. There we go. And then these are 3.5 inches, and they're open all the way through. So the first thing I did for mine is I'm just going to glue these bottoms. So I'm just going to run a bead of glue in here and close these babies up. Super easy. Now I'm using wet white glue, and this is my everyday go-to glue. You don't need a whole lot because the paper's thin. And you can also, if you're interested, look at this on Amazon. It's Line Co. brand PVA glue. And I put it in the little bottle dispensers. Again, all on Amazon if you want to look at some of the things that I use. All right. So the way I stacked mine was I started with one of the bottom pieces, and then I took one of the pieces just so we can kind of get a sense of what we want it to look like, and I alternated just like that. So now when we glue these together, like I said, we're going to get a pocket that's made like from the bag, but then how I install it right behind the bag. And then this one opens and behind, opens and behind, opens, and then if you put it on your page. Now, I left, I don't know, what is that gap? I just eyeballed mine. I wasn't too worried about it. And I think I left maybe like an inch. And I didn't measure or anything or mark them to make sure they were all the same, but you certainly can. I just kind of eyeballed it and made sure the total height wasn't bigger than my average journal, because I haven't decided which of my Christmas journals these are going to go in. So when I made this one, I went ahead and just assembled the bags, and then I layered the papers afterwards. On this one, I layered my papers before I glued it together, and I didn't even put a strip in this one. I kind of liked seeing the brown. So it works well both ways, and let's just go ahead and assemble the pocket, and then I'll decorate. If you want to at this point, though, you could layer your pretty papers on each piece and then assemble it. I'm just letting you know you could do it that way if you want to, if that's easier for you. All right, so the first one I'm going to do is the one that's all the way, that's going to be in the back, the first top pocket. And again, make sure you have it turned the correct way. This one, again, I'm just going to eyeball. I like about that much of a gap. It's about an inch, the top of this one. And I'm using now what was the top of one of the bags for my second pocket. Now, I'm going to need glue from about right there, from where I want it to start, all the way down, and then along the bottom. And again, I'm eyeballing. Now, to make sure that I have the glue where I need it, flip it over from where it's open, and just put a little bit right at the top just to make sure I've brought it all the way up and even on both sides. I'm going to turn this because it's a little bit easier for me to get it straight. And now I'm just going to lay it down carefully and hopefully even it up. And I'm getting glue everywhere on my mat, but that's okay. I love easy pockets. I love making journal pockets. So this is a really fun project. And then you can put any tags, any ephemera, any little notes, anything you want in yours. Okay, again, I'm alternating. So I'm going to get another piece that was the bottom of the bag, and I'm going to install it the exact same way. So I'm just kind of eyeballing where I want it to be and do 3 beads of glue. It would help if I put my glue on straight. The back. All right. There we go. That looks good to me. This is what it looks like on the other side. You can kind of look to see how you're doing. Press everything down so it's sticking. It's a little crooked, but when I get the papers on there and get it stuffed, you're not even gonna notice. And now the last one. And again, this was the top of one of the bags. And we're gonna have it assembled. That could not be any easier, could it? And again, depending on when in the year you are making these, you can decorate them however you want. I could even see, you know, taking 15 minutes and maybe, you know, making several and having them in my stash. And then when I'm working in a journal and I need a really nice stacked pocket, well, there you go. It's ready to be decorated. So let me show you really quick. Now, depending on how you laid yours down will depend on how you're going to trim your, you know, the size your papers that you trim will be. I'm going to use some of the different papers just so that we can look at some different patterns. I think those trees and those candy canes, they're kind of like that, almost like a tealy green. I don't know what it looks like on the camera, but we'll do a variety of these too. Now, the width is going to be, you know, the same. And you can put this on your trimmer if you want to. You know, your paper bag was 5 inches wide, so you're going to want to cut the width of your paper to like 4 3/4. Now, I'm going to do the little trick that I like to do, and I'm just going to lay it here on the bag. And oh, I tear it straight, and I'm just going to tear mine just like that. Yes, and it's going to work just fine. Now, this first one is the top of the bag. And it's not, I don't want my paper to be that full 3.5 inches. I want it to just layer on this portion. So this is 2 7/8. I am going to tear my paper to 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 5/8, which is in between 2.5 and 2 3/4. Okay, so I'm going to use my grid paper, and I don't have 5/8, so we're going to do 1, 2, and that's a half, and I'm going to do a half of this mark, and hopefully this is going to layer in here pretty well. There we go, and it does. Pretty. And I think I'm going to alternate. So then the piece that is going to go inside the pocket, let me go ahead and tear that. And since I'm going to alternate, I want this to be the same width as I tore this one. So I'm just going to use this piece to help me. There we go. Now, this will slide right down in the actual bag. See? Now, I don't need to use that much of the piece. I just need a strip because only this little bit shows. So I'm just going to use my ruler and tear about a 1-inch strip. I am going to do a little bit of inking because I did enjoy the distress inking with the brown paper bag. So let me go ahead and distress this one. And I'm going to go ahead and put this one in first, and then we'll glue this one down because I think it's going to be easier for you to see how I'm going to glue this into this pocket. So I'm going to take this strip, and I just used my walnut stain distress ink brown. All right. I'm going to lay it here, and I'm just going to run a bead of glue right under that lip. But before I do it, I'm going to glue this little flap down just to make sure, and I'm going to do it on this one too. We don't get anything caught on that. Okay, so I'm not adding any adhesive yet. I'm just sliding it in, getting it where I want it in the pocket. Close to the top, and I'm holding it with my fingers here, and I'm just taking my little glue bottle and I'm running a bead of glue, and that's really all you need because it's not going to come out of there. Pretty. And now I'll go ahead and put this piece on. All right, and these, I think, even though they're so simple, I think they're going to make a really nice addition. And you can, of course, decorate the front of this as much or as little as you want. I just put a word and, you know, a little piece of that gold twine, but you could make a pretty cute little collage. You can make this into a journaling spot. You could do just about anything. Okay, now these, same thing. We're going to just make little strips that are going to slide right in and layer. So let me find the piece. Is this the piece that's the correct width? It is. So I think about 1 inch for each one. Now, I did not alternate on my prototype. I used all the same paper and just made sure the pattern kind of, I didn't try to line up my trees or anything like that. I just enjoyed the paper pattern. So you have options. All right, now this one, if it doesn't slide in there, because this one is the pocket that's not the actual bag, it's where we glued it, just tear it off, just a smidge, and it should slide right in. There we go. Now, if you don't like that look, if you don't like having extra brown, your other option is to lay your paper here. I'm going to show you. If you want to keep it to the really narrow, and then I can see where my pocket is, so I'm just going to tear it the right width to not slide down in the pocket, but just to lay here, to just lay there. Okay, so if you like that look better, ink it, just glue the whole piece down, or slide it in the pocket and keep moving. It's really up to you which look you like the best. I'm going to use the slide in the pocket method. Okay. On my first one, I did not. I used the other method. So that way, here, let me show you that. See how I just glued strips down so that I could get them the full width. I think they both look just fine. So it's up to you. Let me decide where this one, and the pockets are different depths depending on if they were the actual bag or where we glued it. I hope that makes sense. All right, I slid this one in. I'm gonna hold it nice and steady with my finger, and I'm gonna glue it down. And I did make sure I brought some of the glue to the sides as well. Cute. Oh, I just really like these. All right, I need the next piece, since I'm alternating my pattern of paper, is this one. And it's going to be a touch wide as well. So I'm going to tear again about 1 inch. And then I'm going to tear just a little smidge so it'll slide into my pocket. Let me just double check. It needs just a tiny, tiny smidge more. I was trying to get it down in that pocket. There we go. Perfect. So again, ink and then put it down. So thank you guys for joining me today while I'm just inking and gluing. I'll chat. I appreciate it. We put up our Christmas tree. Have you guys put your trees up yet? If so, let me know. Or if not, tell me when you're planning to, if you put a tree up. And so I always love when I get my Christmas tree up. I'm planning this afternoon to put the rest of my decorations up. We may not get to the outside lights today. It's really cold here, and it's going to be cold all week. I don't know if I've told you guys, my husband does not like the cold. He just does not like to be cold, and I don't blame him. All right, this one's going to fit without trimming it off because it's the actual bag itself. So I try not to ask him to do things when it's going to make him cold. So we're going to have to wait until we have maybe at least a day that hopefully gets out of the 40s. Ah. So anyway, today's cold, and our youngest daughter is heading back to college for the end of the semester. This is her senior year. So we have 1 more semester to go. And she is planning to do grad school. She's majoring in social work. So she'll have a year of grad school to get her master's because she's getting a bachelor's in social work. So anyway, but she's heading home. She's heading back to school. And everything will kind of be quiet again for a while. I'm going to make this one a little bit wider simply because I kind of wanted to see the top of that candy cane. So again, you can kind of decide based on the patterns of your paper. Same thing, just inking. And let's see, what else am I doing this week? So we're going to finish the Christmas decorations, and then I have to get myself organized because this Friday, so next weekend is when I'll be in New York visiting my daughter Sarah, who lives there. She's the one that graduated from college this year. Put that down. So I'm going to spend the weekend with her. We're going to do some Christmas shopping, and I've got to take a few things to her. She needs a few of her winter sweaters, and I'm going to take her. She asked for me to bring some ribbon because she's going to wrap most of her presents when she gets here. She said Christmas Eve because I think she's going to order and have things shipped here, but she said she'll bring a few with her and she wants some ribbon. So I said, okay. So I'm going to go through my ribbon stash. She's like, nothing super special. So I said, so you want me to find ribbon I'm not overly attached to? And she said, yes, Mom. So we'll see how that goes. All right, let's decorate the pocket just a little bit. I'm definitely going to pick another Christmas word. How about sleigh bells ring? I like that with all the trees. You could go sledding in between the trees maybe without hurting yourself. So anyway, so I've got that coming up, and I've got to get organized and ready for that trip. Let's see what else. And then, of course, there'll be lots of baking and preparing and wrapping presents and all those fun things. And I need to, so then I'm also, after Christmas, I've got another visit planned with my aunts that are in Birmingham. Go check on them. I'm not going to get to spend Christmas with them, but I'll spend New Year's in Alabama. So that will be lovely. I'm wondering if, just in my doodads and things laying around, if I have anything that would be cute on this pocket. I'm just seeing if there's anything within arm's reach. Let me see. This is one of my kits, and that does not go. What's something close by? Ooh, how about a number? Oh, yeah, these. Oh, how about 25 for Christmas? Oh, and okay. So this is another freebie by RachandBella Crafts. And so, like I said, I will link so you can go look at her freebies and her paper kits on her Ko-fi site, her website. And y'all can go find those, because how fun would that be to get some freebies? And you can check out her papers too, because her papers are beautiful. So, and I hope you'll check out this kit too at CherithArt, which is kind of the main one that I'm using, because I am in love with this kit. All right, but that works. I'm just trying to think of how I want to do it. Maybe I'll turn it and be kind of different and odd. Let's do that. Why not? All right, so I'm just going to glue this down and not spend too much time thinking about it. And if you want to do like a December daily or an Advent journal or something like that, like I said, there are a lot of numbers on RachandBella. Has a lot of numbers in her kits and things. So it's something to go look at. La, la, la. Very sweet. How about, I'm looking at my baker's twine. I used the gold on the other one, but let's use this white with the silver thread through it on this one. So I think that will go well with these kind of teal, and it's almost like a pinky red. Pink red, like I said pinky. A pinkish tone to the red. And it's fun. It's fun to have the classic colors, but it's also fun to have some different things to play with, I think. All right. And I have a minty green kind of Christmas kit with Santa and things like that. I made some things with it last year. Anyway, I'm going to pull that one out. Let me know if y'all are interested in seeing that, and I'll come up with some projects for that one too, because a lot of people like the pink Christmas stuff, and it's more of a traditional kind of pink. All right, now all we need, right? I'm just going to grab some from this one. I'm not going to make tags right now, but is to just find and decide which ones you think fit nicely in which pockets. And I kind of like seeing some of the pocket layer, but you know, it's not 1000% necessary. This is going to be deeper, I think. So, you know, you decide it's okay if it covers up the pockets that you just spent all this time decorating. It really is okay. Look how cute. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the last one. And like I said, depending on how you install it, you'll have 8. So that's 7. Cute, right? I just think they're so fun. This one ended up being a little taller because, again, I just did the eyeball method, didn't measure. And this is a touch shorter, but I think they both look great. So let me show you real quick how you take one bag and make this one. And again, if you want it to be oriented this way, you certainly can, but I liked having a horizontal one since I did a vertical one here. So same cut. We're going to make sure we're at the bottom of the bag, and I'm going to cut it at 4 inches. And for this one, all you're going to do is glue the bottom of this one closed. So this was the top of your bag where you just sliced it. So there you go, right? And then decide where you want to install it. So you can, now if you do this, this pocket's going to be super narrow, right? Or not very deep. If you bring it, the more you bring it up, the deeper it will be. So you can just kind of decide. I think I did mine approximately the same width that I did the vertical orientation. This one, I think I'm gonna, what am I gonna do? I'll bring it down some. So we'll have a deep pocket, depending on how we install it on the paper. We'll have the pocket that's at this part of the bag that's 4 inches deep. I'm going to bring this one down. So we will have a more shallow pocket. And then we'll have this pocket. I think that made sense, I hope. So I want to make it wider this way. So I'm going to add the glue to here, here, and here. And again, just to make sure I have enough wherever I decide to put it. There we go. All right, and that is the one. It ends up being, yeah, it's almost a square, so 5 1/4 by 5. And now we have this pocket, we have this pocket, and we have the big pocket. So that one's 4 inches deep. What's this one? Whoops, I brought it all the way through. That one is right at 2 inches deep. And then the one that was here is like 2.5 inches. So these are a little more shallow. Depending on what you put in there, they may hang out a little more. And then you have the wide one. And again, I just layered it. Now on my prototype, I chose not to layer this particular pocket, but you could if you wanted to. You layer here, here, and here, or just here and here. And I'm not going to do that on camera right now because I think you guys get it. But there's so many ways depending on the papers you choose. All right. I hope you like the video. I hope that you're going to make some, use whatever papers you have, and just have fun, okay? Thanks, guys, for watching. Please give me a thumbs up and leave me a comment. I love to hear from you. Until next time.